What is up, YouTube, Spotify, anywhere that you're currently listening to this podcast? It's Mekabre, and we're back with the MC podcast. This is the 1st of March, okay? First episode of March. We have what? This is our 5th one, and we're switching it up. Like I had mentioned in a couple videos ago, maybe the last podcast, don't quite remember when, I talked about bringing a podcast to you guys about DnD, or Dungeons and Dragons, okay? And while the background gameplay has absolutely nothing to do with Dungeons and Dragons, and yes, it is Destiny 2 gameplay, I apologize, but also don't have anything that I feel like would accurately portray Dungeons and Dragons. At some point, you might see a little bit of a screen recording of me showing this website called DnD Beyond. That is extraordinarily useful, and matter of fact, we'll get into that later in this session. Before we start talking about some D&D, I want to thank each and every one of you that came out for the stream just this past Friday. Okay, it was 7:30 to I think almost 10:30, almost a 3-hour stream or something like that. So thank you for anyone that came, dropped by, even just said hi. Great time. We did some trials, we did some nightfalls. I think we did a couple private matches or something along the line in there. Be on the lookout. There will be another one this week. Like I said, it'll be one each week. Not sure when. I'm probably going to do it Friday this week, but we'll see. I'm not exactly sure. It might be Thursday. I'm not sure yet. With that, let me introduce the two guests I have here today. Now, one you've heard from before, okay? It's tech support. It's Matt. He's back yet again.
Yeah. Not getting paid this time, but I'm here.
I don't think you were paid last time, but...
I will be.
And introducing a brand new guest, one that I would imagine will be back on here, and hopefully will be a content creator soon as well. We have Venice, or Crybaby Cryptid, as she is known in the Discord.
What up? Don't laugh at me.
Kind of difficult, that entrance, but okay. Alright, now before we dive straight into the topic at hand tonight, I think you need to promote your future channel, because you already have something kind of going on Twitch, right? And
Yes, I do.
Considering maybe a YouTube or maybe more on Twitch, you're working on building this PC, it's all in the works, you're planning on it, so let's get you started, let's give you that boost, so that way once you're ready to go, you're in full swing, we already got you this base, solid set of followers, subs, whatever it may be.
Hell yeah. Oops, sorry, it's supposed to be PC. Was I supposed to say that? Oops. Hey, we'll pretend I didn't say that. We'll pretend I didn't say that. But yeah.
Even I didn't swear yet. That's.
Listen, I'm sorry. I was excited. Just, I didn't say that. But yes, I have my Twitch channel. But I'm gonna be playing video games most of the time. But for the vast majority of it, while I'm playing those games, kind of in the background, I will be telling a variety of stories, mostly involving cryptids from a variety of locations around the U.S. You can request specific cryptids if you've got one in a nearby town that you want to hear about. Ghosts, monsters. I'll even go into the murder mystery area because I know that true crime is all the rage right now. So that's the vast majority of what my channel content will be.
Gotcha. All right. I will have links down below in the description, so feel free to click on those, head on over, give Venice a follow, a sub, whatever it may be, so that way we can help her out. She is a sub of my channel, so she's a supporter of my work. Please be a supporter of her work, okay? Let's move in to the D&D side of things, okay? So, of the three of us, I know we discussed this earlier, but I am by far the most inexperienced of the three of us.
I don't know about that.
We're gonna agree on this, okay?
Yeah, we're gonna agree on this one, Matt.
Are we?
Yeah, we're gonna agree on this one.
Do you not see me nodding my head as...
No, I don't. Otherwise, I would have hit you already.
Wow. Wow. Okay.
But as far as I have gathered, okay, and the little bit that I've played, and obviously there's a lot of different stereotypes that go with this game. It's the nerds, virgin nerds in their mom's basement up till
Well,
midnight.
Connor.
What?
Well, Connor, three of those things apply to you. Sorry,
I'm.
sister's side room.
Yeah, yeah. That's very fair. But there's a lot of stereotypes that go with the game. But I think we need to kind of, before we talk a lot about the nitty and gritty of the game or a little more detail, I think we need to kind of clear the air on exactly what this game is, and more specifically, why each of us play the game. Because I think that's going to tie in really well to some stuff we'll talk about down the road tonight.
Yeah, sounds good to me.
So who would like to give their general idea, you know, what is D&D to you? Because how I play D&D and how I see the game is going to be rather different than the both of you, purely from the fact of what you guys have done. You've both played characters and been the DM. I myself have only played characters. I've never been a DM. So that whole side is a mystery to me, whereas you guys have experience in both. So I don't care which one of you starts, but feel free to start throwing some ideas out there.
Alright.
You go first, Matt, since you're I feel the most wizened on the topic here.
No, Alexis, you go first.
Uh, since I know this is going to be a losing argument on my end, I'm going to go ahead and go. Um, so for me, I wanted to get into D&D for a long, long time, and because you kind of get this feeling that it's one of those games that you can play with people in person and online to some extent,
Mm-hmm.
and you can get these really cool friendships. You can have these really fun, interesting scenarios. Each time you play, it's something unique. Um, and I can tell you for sure that the game, the way they depict it on television, like in TV series and movies and stuff, of like these kids or grown men sitting around a table with little miniatures and dice and big books out, is not always the most accurate representation. Um, because for me, like playing it, it's always been more of like a shenanigans kind of thing. But it's really fun because a lot of the friend base that I have now came from playing D&D. So if you want to do something that's like, in a way, like a video game, you have your character customization, you get to come up with your backstory, and then you make choices. Um, and that kind of your abilities impact whether or not you're able to do certain things you want to do. And it's basically a tabletop video game to a certain aspect. Um, but it's really, really fun, and don't let the idea that it'll make you automatically a nerd deter you from trying to play it, because it's not. It's really not. There are some. I have a wide variety of people that play with me in my games, and I would not classify all of them as nerds.
I can actually confirm, for those of you listening right now, it takes years of hard work to become a nerd.
Yeah.
Speaking as one, so
I
do
mean,
not.
shit. Jazz Keyfall was on here, so
Yes, yes.
It's a
Jazz Keyfall.
lifelong practice. Like
Exactly, it really is.
you
So
you have to commit to it.
picking up D&D is not going to make you a nerd overnight. Don't worry.
yeah, unless you are already a nerd, then it's not going to change anything.
Hmm.
Exactly, exactly.
Yeah.
No, I agree with just about everything you said there, Venice. I don't think there's anything really that I don't feel the same about it. It truly is, like you said, a video game that you're talking through and you're not actually watching a screen necessarily. But,
Hmm.
maybe you have miniatures on a table or you have a map, if you're playing online that you're looking at. All the above. It's just truly that's similar concepts. Matt,
Yes.
what is your take on it?
I agree with a lot of stuff that I said. It's definitely not just a game for nerds, especially me and Connor played sports.
Hmm.
Sadly, God, that sounds awful to say. Not that the sports were bad, just say, God. But no, it's easily one of the best parts of my life. I've met a lot of great people. I've introduced a lot of people, and it's brought me to be a better person, probably, or maybe more sadistic, one or the other.
Honestly, you lean in both ways. Depends on the game as you approach it. You a little bit of both there.
I myself run 2 games right now for 2 different groups. Connor is in one of them.
Yes, sir.
In one of my games, it's strong political decisions about how a king is ruling a country, and the other one, it's yo ho pirate time. Um, yeah, it's definitely something I think everyone should try. Maybe you don't try to keep an open mindset when going into it. And you don't have to play stereotypes. You don't have to play the Elven Ranger. You don't have to be fucking Legolas. You can be a fucking super short dwarf who's a barbarian who beats the shit out of anyone who's taller than them.
Matt, you're saying bad words.
Doesn't stop me.
No, I think that's a great point. Matt's actually making a jab at me there, specifically me, and another one of previous players in a campaign where we had both said that the only reason we chose Elven Rangers is because we wanted to be Legolas. But it is true. I mean, there is so much customization, and I mean, this is where I'd mentioned it earlier. D&D Beyond. You can look it up. Hopefully, I'll have some screen captures of it. It is such a useful resource. Past that, if you have a little bit of extra cash lying around and you're truly getting into this as a hobby, as something you're doing every week with friends or whatever, there are books galore out there based on the system that's used, and also literally writes every single bit of detail down for each class, for each race. I mean, it's ridiculous. I own 2 of these books myself, and I mean, I don't know if I've ever sat down and actually just read through them, but I probably should because there is just so much information in them.
Something to add on that. The books don't just tell you how to play. It gives you new races, new classes. More of the recent books have given like this new class called somewhat new class. It was something called Unearthed Arcana, which is unofficial content. Something called Artificer, where you're this weird like mixture of magic scientist, where you can literally just make a fucking gun. That's it.
Yeah, it's just
That's
gun.
that's it.
Yeah, no, and I mean that's insane because when you think D&D, one of the first thoughts that comes to your mind is it's a medieval group on a medieval mission. They're in medieval times, swords, bow and arrows, nothing special. And then you play a session where some guys turn around like 2 guns with them. It's just like, hey, I'm out here chilling. The rest of y'all with your swords, you go have fun. I'm gonna just sit up here and shoot the man.
And a lot of things
Yeah.
too is like outside of the books, you also have homebrew content, which is content made by people who have played the game and was like, this is really cool. But what if we did this instead? It's kind of like, and a lot of it is character creating, and of course, you want to take that content and say, hey, I want to use this. Some of it is like stupid broken, and like you have to, sometimes your DM will want to say, no, you can't use that. That's just completely not going to fit in my campaign, because some DMs have ideas for their campaigns. And if you want to play homebrew content, always good to check by your DM before you make any.
Check. It's not.
Oh, yeah.
Don't try
Yeah.
and sneak by them. And if they say no, don't throw a hissy fit. Don't try and
Yeah.
sneak around. Just accept it. It's not because they don't like you. It's because they don't like the content. Like I had a player a long time ago. I have a certain rule that I've kind of moved past now with a lot more stuff coming out where I didn't allow a certain race at level 1. But they didn't listen to me, and they threw a hissy fit and claimed I was a bad DM, which might be true from their standpoint. A lot of people say I'm good. Some people say I'm bad. And then eventually I told them they were not playing. They were not playing in my one-shot, which is a one-shot session for those who don't know. And they made a whole new character thinking that I just wasn't letting them play that character, to the point where they left the server that we play on and bashed myself and Venice to a mutual friend of ours, which didn't end well for him because he knows us, of course.
And there's really no end to the creativity bit. So yeah, there are some things that people make because they want to be stupid overpowered, stupid broken. But honestly, a lot of it also just enables you to play literally anything you could want. I mean, one of my favorite characters to play, and that I swear will make a comeback. I swear on it, Matt.
No.
She will make a comeback. I played it in one of Matt's games. I played an awakened possum named Bing Bong. Yeah.
Which, for those who don't know, awoken creatures are animals that have gained sentience. So they can talk, they can move, they just all these different things, and it's just it really expresses creativity.
Yeah, no, I would be the first to say that I am not necessarily the most creative when it comes to my characters. It's either the Elven Ranger that's trying to replicate Legolas, or it's Matt put together this one shot that I'm supposed to take part in. I know 2 of the other guys in said one shot, and I'm worried that they're going to screw around the entire game, and I'm going to be doing the only one, so I need to build the most overpowered, damaging guy in this one shot. And honestly, just that alone makes the game super entertaining for me, because everyone brings their own play styles, and when they do that, you have this odd mixture. And even if it's people that are brand new, like Matt just said, I'm taking part in one of his campaigns right now. The two people, now I think 3, right? Because another is joining, correct?
It'd be up to 4 actually. 4 total players, including yourself.
Oh yeah. So yeah, 3 others and then myself. I didn't know any of them previous to this. This is my first encounter with all of these people, except for Matt. And Matt is the DM, the dungeon master. He's organizing everything, leading us through this. So me trying to figure out how everyone else is playing was a little bit of a struggle to begin with. But once we tested the waters with a few things, we went out and we killed a T-Rex. One of the other members of this did. For pretty much no reason. A little bit of gold, sure. But past that, I was like, I just want to kill a T-Rex. I don't know about you.
How cool is it to say you got to kill a fucking T-Rex at a super low level?
Exactly. No, it was just something kind of fun to do, and it was that combination of playstyles. I liked to get up close, completely ignore the fact that I had magic, and use a quarterstaff. Meanwhile, my teammate was using a spiritual weapon and just beating the crap out of this T-Rex over and over and over. And it was honestly just so much fun to see those 2 different playstyles meet in the middle somewhere and actually accomplish this goal. And then when you get even bigger groups of people where you have 5, 6 people at a time sitting down and playing, you see so many different playstyles all at once, and then you can have this opportunity to split the groups up, All right, you 4 are going to go over here and do this thing, while the other 2 are going to go and do a different side quest at the same time.
Which is always a bad idea for players.
Horrible idea for players. If your DM offers it, turn it down immediately.
Key phrase DMs use if it's a bad idea is, "You can try."
How many times have I heard that?
Another one I like is, are you sure about that?
Uh,
Anything
Top
that can instill
top two.
doubt and fear in you as a person is a question you need to be aware of.
oh man, I mean, there's just I haven't been playing all that long. Um, I did a couple things with Matt way back in our high school days. Not really way back, but back in our
Yeah,
high school
a year
days.
ago.
Well, yeah, we did a little bit. I guess that campaign we had
Yeah.
going that we never
Well,
finished
I
was.
mean, it kind of collapsed for obvious reasons.
Yes, yes, it did. Because literally the entire United States collapsed, but we don't talk about that. but before that, I think I only did one other thing with you. Wasn't it a one shot or something?
That was actually after. That was when I
Oh
was about
yeah,
to
that
leave for
was.
boot camp.
Yes, yes, you're correct. But other than that, I haven't been playing really all that long. I mean, you guys inviting me to your server was really the first thing after that bit of the campaign I played with you and a couple other guys, and then the one shot I did with you and a couple other guys. But I mean, I haven't been playing that long, and I already have so many fantastic memories of DnD. All right, so we're on that like 20-minute threshold right now, so we got to go a little bit more here.
I mean,
Try and
I
shake
have
it
some
up,
stories.
and that's what I was gonna move into. I think it would only be appropriate. I'm claiming to have all these fantastic memories, fun times, as they say. And I think it would only be appropriate if each of us went around and shared, just a few funny stories, funny interactions, whatever it may be. Whether it was while you were doing the campaign, you were at somebody's house and then this happened, and it was just funny because why not? Or it was a good time, a good memory. Or if it was, hey, we're all chilling on the Discord server and then this person tried this really dumb thing. You know, whatever it may be. But choose like two, maybe three of them that you think are top quality. We'll just go around real quick and share them because I think this is one way that, at least if I were listening to this and I hadn't already played, this would pique my interest, hearing some of these stories. I have a feeling, at least. I could be very wrong. I don't know exactly what stories you guys are going to bring. I know which I am choosing to bring. But whatever your guys' stories are, I have a feeling it might inspire someone out there listening to this, being like, hey, maybe I'll give it a try, or maybe I will look into it, see if I can't find a group, and go from there and see what they can't do. So I don't care which one of you guys goes first, but feel free to start it up.
Well, the term is ladies first, so Vanessa, go ahead.
Oh, okay. Let's see. Uh, I think one of my favorite incidents, it happened recently in one of my own campaigns, that I'm running. Matt is in this campaign. Um, but it, so what was the situation itself was that, these people were out and about. The campaign's group was out and about, and they were approached by a uh, class of small children, out on a beach. And one of the students actually, after the class left, came back and gave Matt's character like a folded up piece of paper. And upon inspecting the paper, Matt's character realized that this was an address to a house. And then the group decided, okay, well, let's figure out what's up. And they went to the house.
Oh
And
gosh.
upon approaching the house, they Matt's character realized that this was a note from the female teacher that was leading the class. Um, Apparently, she had, in that short time of seeing him, in like maybe the 30 minutes they interacted on that beach, had developed quite the crush on Matt's character. And uh, upon reaching the home, Matt's character, knocked on the door and interacted and whatnot. And it was very, very clear that the invitation to the home was not for like a polite dinner or, oh, she had some news important to the
Hold on,
campaign
I'll be right back.
plot line.
Okay.
Oh boy. But yeah, so it became very clear that she was trying to proposition him, and he had none of it. He was like, no, I'm good, and tried to just, walk away. She wasn't having any of it, and she followed him out onto like the walkway, and she flashed him, and he still said no thanks. I'm not interested. But the funny part was that another one of the characters is playing a very, very small, like halfling, and that just kind of rides around on his back, kind of. And upon when
Oh no.
yeah, when she opened the door and saw his character standing there with the small child, like player character on his back, she assumed it was a pet monkey, and was kind of sad to realize that the monkey was not a monkey, but actually a fully grown adult who was just very, very small. Granted, it's not the funniest situation, but at the time, the group was having a great time realizing that this teacher had the hots for Matt's character, and he was having none of it.
No, not gonna lie, that's some top quality. Granted, I think it has to do partially because I know Matt. That alone makes this just so much better. But
Venice, did you forget the most important, where she looked around the street?
Yeah, she looked around the street and saw the rest of the campaign's party just kind of lingering in her front yard, which one of them happens to be a very large myconid, which, for those of you who aren't aware, is basically a mushroom person. They are sentient mushrooms. And then another half human, half halfling. So like a
Quarterling.
quarterling. Yeah. So he kind of just brought the whole party when she thought that maybe her invitation was like, to him specifically. And she was a little upset that he brought everyone.
oh man, well that's great. That's great.
Yeah. I have a few stories.
Oh yeah, Matt's gonna blow me
one
out of the water
involved two. I mean, I have three that I really like, and I'm gonna share these three. They're all quite short. We're gonna save the one that involves Connor for last.
Oh, I have a feeling. I think that's the one I was gonna talk about. But
You know what? You go ahead and share that one, since I have many stories.
Yeah, okay. You share your other two here.
Yeah. So both these somewhat involve Venice here. The first one was in a different campaign she was running that she ended because we all had stuff going on. I went to boot camp, and she just kind of, I don't know. I'm pretty sure you just wanted to do something different.
Mm-hmm.
But we were in this large, old abandoned mine where people got stuck in. So similar to very common and known lore or myths, people became Wendigos. And one of them was kind of getting a little close to one of the other players, and I kind of stepped in. I was this cleric. For those who don't know, they're kind of like holy men. They have magic from gods, and it doesn't mean always holy magic. I use something called necrotic, which is, as you guys can figure out, is kind of evil. And as my specific cleric subclass, I had an ability that made all damage I dealt double for 1 minute. So I kind of went over, tapped him on the shoulder, and dealt. While it might not seem a lot of damage to you guys, like especially those who play Destiny, like 100 damage doesn't seem like a lot, but in DnD, that's a lot.
That's
it can. That's more than like the average player character on some remarks. Yeah.
Yeah, I casually bopped him on the shoulder, rolled a natural 20, which means I double my damage again, and dealt around, I think, 80 points of necrotic damage. Slaughtered this innocent, not so innocent creature in one move, to which the session ended, and Venice had to revise how she made these creatures.
Yeah, I certainly was not expecting him to be able to one tap the first creature in the encounter, so I was extremely upset about that. So then I had to go back and say, well, now I have to rework the entire mind. But at the same time, that's me being able to say, well, now that because one of your characters is able to one tap these things, I get to make everything that much harder.
But that also was just me getting extremely lucky with my roll. I rolled a lot of
Hmm.
damage. I rolled really high on my hit chance.
Another crit for the hit.
Yeah. Um, and then my other story also involves Venice, which requires a prelude. So, a session before, one of my players had gotten arrested, and his great plan to escape, since the cuffs he was wearing canceled out magic, he decided to shit his pants, to which he failed. He only farted. The next session, Venice was getting arrested. And not all play. This wasn't intentional. I hadn't been like, all right, all the players are getting arrested. No, this was two separate events over a week period. Um, she's like, all right, I have this hot knife, which she thought was on fire for some reason, which I never described it like that. So she went, I'm going to try to make a fireball by farting.
In my head, it was genius, okay? I had the science figured out because it was methane and farts, okay? I
To
thought it would
which
work.
she rolled and she shit her pants. And I think this really just shows not all campaigns are serious. You can make the DM makes them as serious as they want, or as fucking stupid as they want.
Mm-hmm.
And I think Connor's got the next great story.
Yes, yes. I think it's great at least. And I'm pretty sure I've told. Well, obviously you know Matt because you were there, and I'm pretty sure I've told
Oh
you
yeah,
Venice. And if I haven't, I know Matt has 100%. But like I'd stated, I like to play Elven Ranger. It's simple. It means I'm Legolas, even though I'm not actually Legolas. But this character was literally Legolas, like spot on. My stats were perfect. I don't think I looked like him if I recall at all. But I was
no,
overall like a decent fighter. My stats were okay. Like
you were very strong.
very buff. Like buff beyond what I should have been.
Like if you guys like, I want you guys. This is how I imagine it. Like imagine like a very toned person, and then make them very buff, and then tone again to the
Mm-hmm.
point where they don't have a neck anymore.
No,
Um,
100% what my character was.
um, like this, like football players, nothing. Like four of them, like shoulder to shoulder for this man's shoulder length.
Well, I don't know about that though. I mean, that'd be kind of
No, maybe only two
kind
or
of
three.
wide.
I mean,
I mean, I was a big. Overall, I got lucky on some of my rolls. Okay,
very.
like when I was building this character. Okay, and just for those of you who are unsure, when you make your character sheet, there's a couple different ways you can go about it, but one of the most common ways is rolling for stats, and there's 6 main stats that you have to worry about, and you roll different dice, and you get 6 numbers, and then you choose where those numbers go. So if you want someone that's super buff and can just punch everything, you might put your biggest number into strength. I think I got so
Or
lucky on my
dex.
character that my lowest was like 14 or 13.
Yeah, you put that in your intelligence. You're like, I'm gonna play a
Yes.
dumb character. I'm like, you're very smart. So to give you guys a little idea, a 10 is the average, like fucking what most people are, even like in real life. Like I think I remember seeing a tweet from Wizards of the Coast who produce D&D for those who don't know, that Stephen Hawking had like a 16 in intelligence, and then there are casually players at like level 4 with a fucking 20, which is the maximum, who are like infinitely smarter, and then also do shit like try to shit their pants.
But I got super lucky on all these rolls, okay? And then in this campaign, it was me and one other guy that had always played. Eventually, we got to the point where we added another player to our campaign, but it was just me and one other person. And this other person wasn't necessarily particularly gifted in the fighting department, so I had to do a lot of the work during the battles that we ran into. And it was no problem. I don't think, pardon me, I don't think we had any problems up until.
No, you guys only had a couple combat encounters before that
3 or 4.
very unlucky scene.
Yeah.
Yeah,
3 or 4.
I think so. It was after the death of Commander Cody,
Yes. Yes.
who you guys kept calling Captain Cody.
It was Captain Cody. 100% Captain Cody, dude. I still believe to this day.
We discussed it. We discussed this. I literally
Looked
pulled it up.
Yes, I'm
Yeah.
well aware. But anyways, to get to the story and make it a little shorter here. One night, perhaps there may have been some fire in a nearby town, it looked like. Well, we were taking turns on watch, and I was like, yo, I'll go check it out, but I don't want to wake up my partner here. So this little demon friend that he has, I'm going to tell him, by the way, this demon cannot speak language that either of us can comprehend.
No, he could understand him. You couldn't.
Oh, yeah, that is right. That is right. Okay, so I couldn't understand if this demon understood what I was telling him, but I was just like, hey, I'm going to go dip, check that fire out, and I'll come back, and I'll let you know what happened. And if he wakes up and he's worried like where I'm at, just tell him to, move on and I'll catch up or something like that. I go and investigate this fire to find, there's a small-ish dragon.
Yeah, baby dragon.
Now this was my second, maybe third or fourth playthrough ever. Like this was the third or fourth time we had met for this campaign. This is my third or fourth time playing D&D altogether. And me not knowing general stats and ability, I'm like, hey, it's just a small dragon. I can probably take it. Seeing as how all the other combats went and just my stats in general, I figured I had it in the bag. So I went and tried to distract this dragon from the town. Well, here's the deal. We almost beat that dragon. But that wasn't the problem.
You almost.
Once we get it down to like literally no health, and I'm like, hey, I got this in the bag, it screams for help. And what comes flying in? But of course, its mother. And not knowing that it was a baby dragon in the sense that its mother would still be in the vicinity, well, I was more than screwed at this point, and realized this, trying to run away, exclaiming apologies to the mother as I was burnt to a crisp.
The other player waking up when I'm going to go back to bed.
Yeah. Not knowing exactly what had just happened to me, he's like, they're probably okay. And then I had to make a new character for that campaign. But honestly, even though I died, and even though I lost all my precious work and had to build a whole new character, it was incredible having an opportunity to actually end up fighting a dragon, which I would have beat had his mother not come there.
Yeah, it was pretty much the toss of a coin.
Yes. Yeah. No, I just got a little unlucky as all. But honestly, one of my best memories from that. And I don't think I will ever forget it, and there's no way I will not be told that story over and over, because there's been several times where I'm told to slow down and think before I run into battle in other D&D campaigns. And I'm like, wait a minute, what? I don't know what you're talking about. And then I'm reminded of this story.
Yep. And I think we need to mention the other player in that campaign that had later joined on. You guys know Jazz Keefall. He joined the game, which was fun because we were all friends. And I was talking to him, and he made later. Oh fuck, we have to talk about his other character for the one shot too. Like we have to.
Yes.
He made a bard, which are, if you guys have seen any D&D memes, know what a bard is. Not always like that, but they can be. Um, he decided to make a ball, pretty much, and he would always describe himself when he moved. He'd roll places rather than walk. So I guess you guys remember, fuck, Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory, the one girl who became a blueberry. That is how he described his character.
Yes. His character was very entertaining. And in his description, he claimed that it was his mission to become best friends with somebody. Because he hadn't
Yeah.
experienced that before. Guess whose new character was lucky enough to undergo this friendship? Yours truly. I think, although I think as great as that character was, I think his character for his one shot was even better.
Yeah. So as I said earlier, I hosted a one shot before I went to boot camp. I had all my friends there, at least all of them that could come. Sadly, the player from the campaign, Connor, and Jazz Keefall couldn't make it. He had something going on, which I said, okay, understandable. And I had a bunch of different array of characters. Connor played, I don't even remember what you
Monk.
played. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, you played a monk.
Dragonborn monk or something like that.
Yeah, which for those who don't know, monks are kind of they actually punch things, but they're good at punching things, and they don't require strength. They require dexterity. So it's interesting. It's a different dynamic. But he had once again made a bard, but this time he played a tabaxi, which for those who have played Skyrim are like the Khajiit
Big cat.
or cat people.
Yeah.
So of course he named his character Belle Delphine. His proudest moment so far.
I remember this.
First off, before you guys think, oh, okay, there's just one of those people playing like a skimpy, stupid character. No. It was a dude. A dude who not seduced, that's not fair, made friends with a dragon that they later killed.
He seduced the
Did
dragon.
he? That's right,
Yes.
he did seduce the dragon.
He did. Oh. And then sat there as him and this dragon are friends while the dragon is still attacking the rest of the people in the room.
Sorry, I'm just texting Jaren real quick. Yeah, no, it was a lot of fun, that one shot.
And I think, if anything, I hope that these stories have encouraged you guys to pick up D&D, to try it out, to see if you enjoy it as much as we have. Like some of these stories truly are just fantastic memories we have of this game. That, it's just nice. We get to hang out with friends. We get to be goofy at times. We can be super serious at other times. It just depends. Now, we're going to start wrapping it up here. We'll go into your guys' 30-second-ish wrap-ups. What do you have to say? What do you want to say? Venice, plug your channel again. We'll obviously have the link in the description down below. But past that, shoot, what was I going to say?
Anything you want to say?
I don't even remember what I was going to say. We're just going to assume it was nothing important, because if it was,
Is
I
it ever?
would have had it written down. And
Hey, that's mean.
It's not wrong, though.
What did you say?
Matt. It's that whole, if he didn't remember it, it must not be important.
No, you said anything.
And then nothing he says is important.
Yeah.
You ass.
Alright, so we'll move into our 30 seconds here. Venice, go first.
Yeah, just come find me on Twitch, Crybaby Cryptid. I'll be telling some spooky stories and playing video games real badly.
Really badly.
Really badly.
Hey, sometimes people playing video games badly is more entertaining than people playing video games.
Yeah, I mean, look at your trial stream.
Exactly. Thank you.
Amazing.
Anything related to D&D you'd like to spit out as your final comment as well, or?
Yeah. Each time you play it, it will be different. So don't let one bad game or one bad DM or one bad experience sour your entire understanding of D&D, because every single time you play it, it will be different. Matt and I have played several games together,
Mm-hmm.
and every single time it's different.
Yeah, that's very fair. All right, moving on over to tech support. What do you have for your 30-second closer?
Again, my number one advice is try it. Just try it. The best way to do it. Don't always play the same thing. Don't try one thing. Play something new every time.
Yeah, I need to take that advice.
I mean, you already have.
A little
You're
bit.
playing something completely different.
I have widened my horizons a tiny bit, yes. Alright, guys. For my 30-second closer, and I think we can all somewhat agree on this, for those of you who do not know, all three of us played D2. Whether it's all the time, like myself, seeing as how I'm a content creator, or it's in leisure, like these two beautiful
I don't
people
know.
here with me tonight.
As of late, I don't know.
You've been on more than I have. Like,
yeah,
honestly.
my hours have gone up 100 since the start of the new season.
Oh my goodness.
Amazing.
No.
As all
He said
of us
no.
have played D2, I think it's great that we can all sit back and say, hey, there's another hobby that we all enjoy, that we all have in common, that isn't D2. We can sit back and we can do something else. And I think that's something I talked about this last stream. I'm going to keep talking about it. The reason people get bored of Destiny 2 so much is because they only do Destiny 2. They don't play anything else. They don't do anything outside in real life except for maybe work or school, maybe sports. I mean, I do all of those. And I do more besides D2, and that's the only reason I'm able to sit down and play as much as I do. It's the only reason I'm able to put out content like I do. It's because I sit down and enjoy things like D&D. So try it. Try D&D out. Try another video game out. Whatever it is, it's going to be different for each person, but just go out there and try some new stuff. With that, we're coming to a close on this podcast here. I want to thank each and every one of you for listening wherever you're listening. It's helping out one way or another. If you're over on Spotify or anywhere where you listen to podcasts, make sure you hop onto my YouTube, Mekabre Co. There will be a link in the description down below. Feel free to drop a sub. Turn that bell notification on. We have 2 videos each week. The podcasts are posted over on YouTube as well. We have 2 every single month, the 1st and the 15th, and we're streaming now, so come feel free to drop by. It's not always going to be Destiny. I know right now it seems like all I do is Destiny stuff. Stream-wise, we'll try and mix it up here a little bit. Maybe we'll get a Bloodborne playthrough or something here going. I'm not exactly sure. We'll see. We'll see. I kind of suck at the game, so the playthrough might take me 4 years straight, but we'll see. As of right now, we're going to stick with Destiny 2 because it's working well on my PC and everything's feeling okay. We're in a good time for the game, but we'll go from there. With that, I have nothing else to say except get back to grinding.
Actually, Connor, I'd like to cut you off.
Wow. Rudely interrupted. Okay.
So, for those who obviously don't know, which would be pretty much everyone watching Connor's videos or listening, Venice has a Discord for D&D.
Oh yeah, that's
we
right.
Play.
Yes, that is
where Connor plays, where I play, where
literally all 3 of us
we have a lot of games going on. Always looking for players. We have at least 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We have 7 games right now. DMs looking for new players, trying to start up campaigns. This is a great place to accept players of all skill level. Like Venice, when she made the Discord, had never played before.
Yup.
Ever.
Made a D&D Discord. I'm gonna play at some point.
At some point. Yeah. Maybe I can get enough
No,
people
we're
in here.
kidding.
They'll teach me.
Yeah, no, for real. I will have that Discord in the links down below as well. Come by, join up. I think literally earlier tonight we had someone post saying, "Hey, I need another player for my campaign. Would you be interested?"
100%.
I mean, if you are looking to test something out, come and join us. You know, we're a big group of chill people in here. Everyone's super, super chill, and I mean that. Like, I haven't even talked to everyone in here, but the few people that I have, I mean, no complaints whatsoever. They're some of the nicest people I know. So, come join us. Come test out D&D. Hey, if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. You don't have to be active in the channel. I mean, that's fine, you know? If you come and just try out a session and you're like, I mean, this is fun, but it's not me, that's A-okay. And it's not going to be, D&D is not going to be something everyone can sit down and do. But maybe it is your special hobby, your new hobby. I don't know. Come join us. Click on that Discord link. And then additionally, I have a Discord as well. If you want to be gaming with us, feel free to drop in and do that. That'll be in all the links. And maybe we'll start posting this D&D link in there, the Discord, if that's chill with y'all.
100%.
Yeah? All right. So be on the lookout. We'll have a D&D link for the Discord. Come join us because it's a lot of fun. And there are campaigns that are looking for people, like Matt had said. So click on those links, please. And with that, are we good now?
Yeah, I'm good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Say so.
Just checking. All right. With that, get back to grinding with your crazy guardians.